January 1066. A king lay dying in Westminster, and behind the walls of his palace, half of Europe was holding its breath. Because this king had no son, no brother, no heir that everyone could agree on. And in the cold halls of England, one terrible question passed from mouth to mouth. When the king falls, who has been waiting for his crown? His name was Edward the Confessor. For 24 years he had ruled England, but he had failed at the one thing a king must never fail. He left no child behind, and an empty throne is not an empty seat. It is an invitation. Within days of his death, the most powerful man in England made his move. Harald Godwinson, a great earl, a proven warrior, a man with no royal blood in his veins, was crowned king. The crown settled on his head almost before the old king was in the ground. And across the sea in Normandy, a storm was already gathering, because there was another man who believed that crown was his, William, Duke of Normandy. Years earlier, he claimed Edward had promised him the throne, and Harold had sworn an oath to support William's claim, a promise made in Normandy and broken in England. William did not scream or rage in public. He waited, he watched, he built ships, hundreds of them. And in the north, a third shadow rose, a Viking king from Norway, who also believed the throne belonged to him. For months, England had 3 kings waiting, and only one crown. Then came the autumn. The Norwegians struck first, landing in the north with a terrifying army. And Harald, the man with no royal blood, did something extraordinary. He marched his weary soldiers almost 200 miles in a matter of days, took the invaders completely by surprise, and destroyed them. It was a victory for the history books. He had defended his crown once, but the crown had one more enemy. William's fleet crossed the Channel. Harold's exhausted army lay still bleeding from that hard-won northern victory, turned south one final time. On a field near Hastings, 2 men who both believed they were the true king met face to face. Saxon shields against Norman cavalry, a broken oath against burning ambition. All day the line held, and then, at evening, it broke. Harald Godwinson fell on that hill. The man who had worn the crown for less than a year died without knowing his son of kings was over. With him fell the last of the Saxon kings, and here is the twist. When the king finally fell that day, only one man was left standing who had been waiting for that crown since the very beginning, the man across the sea, the patient one.